Hello, and welcome to Learning Support Services. My name is Caitlin, and I'm a second-year sociology student and one of your LSS peer helpers. Thank you for taking the time to view this workshop. We hope you will find a lot of helpful information that you can apply to your studies here at Carleton. This workshop will give you helpful tips and strategies for writing exams, which we hope will ease your stress and improve your study skills to help you throughout exams. I would also recommend you watch for the exam prep video, which also provides helpful tips and strategies that complement the skills covered in this workshop. Before we get into the tips and strategies for exam writing at Carleton, here's a general overview of what the workshop will cover. We will begin by talking about exams, and then we will move into general exam tips, followed by tips for different kinds of exams, and then at the end, we'll talk about resources for support during exam periods. Many students run into the same challenges and struggles when it comes to writing exams, so I hope that the tools in this workshop will not only help you, but may be passed on to others in your program or your circle of friends who also have to write exams. Before we get started, you should have already printed the Stop, Start, Continue handout, which was posted as a PDF on the homepage. If you don't have this printed, please stop the workshop and do so. Restart when you have the sheet in hand and a pen. You need this handout because your task throughout the workshop is to 1. See if you can pick out things that you are currently doing that may be inhibiting your success. These go in the stop box. 2. You should also be listening for things that you are doing well. These go in the continue box. And then 3. You need to listen for things you want to start doing. Try and find at least 2 or 3 of the tips or strategies that I will present today and put them into the start box. By writing down the behaviors or strategies that you want to change, you are creating a plan for yourself and will already be one step closer to becoming a better student. At the end of the workshop, you'll have time to review what you put down and think about when you can start implementing these changes. Before you can know how to perform well on tests and exams, it is important you know why professors use tests and exams. Here are some things to keep in mind about exams that may help you feel more confident. The first thing to note is that you should remember that exams are only one way that profs assess your level of comprehension and application of the material presented during class. Chances are, if you invest your time in the class by regularly attending and doing the required work, you will have less issues in understanding the content and in studying for the exam or test, and will therefore have a better chance of earning a good grade in the course. It is also important to keep in mind that tests and exams are a regular part of the university experience. In other words, everyone writes them, and there are a wide range of support services and resources to help you make it through exams. Another reminder is that when it comes to exams, know that professors do not prepare exams with malicious intent. Believe it or not, most profs want all of their students to earn the best mark possible. Don't allow your mind to get caught up in the idea that the exam was written to trip you up. So be sure to see your exams and tests as opportunities to showcase your knowledge and ideas that you've learned throughout the course. No matter what type of exam you're writing, keep these practical and helpful tips in mind when you sit down to write your exam. Know the material. Being comfortable with the course content is the best way to succeed in the course. Get enough sleep. Being well rested positively impacts your ability to concentrate. Avoid caffeine. Too much can lead to negative side effects. Slow down. Keep everything in perspective. Stay focused and don't be overwhelmed. Take one exam at a time. Don't grade yourself. Accept that you will not know every answer. It's okay not to earn a perfect grade. Do the easiest questions first. Start with answering questions you do know, and then save the harder ones for last. Read directions and questions very carefully. Look for keywords and instructions on which questions to answer, where, and in what format. Use positive self-talk. This pep talk can be the extra motivation to keep you on track. And avoid distractions. Hold yourself accountable and don't let others take away your attention from writing the exam. These tips, and more shown on the slide, should help you realize that there are factors you can control and focus on to help you stop worrying about what's out of your control, like which questions are on the exam. Throughout your university career, there will be different types of exams you will write. The most commonly used at Carleton are multiple choice, essay, quantitative, and short answer. It is really important that you realize that different exams require different strategies and study methods when it comes to studying for and writing the exam. Be sure to keep this in mind when professors tell you about the exam layout, when you are studying, and when you are writing the exam. The first exam that we'll talk about is multiple choice exams. These are most often used in first-year large lecture courses, in arts and social sciences, like psychology, economics, sociology, or business. Multiple choice exams are used for fact or theory-based courses. There are steps you can take to help you identify the correct answer. They are: begin each question by reading the stem all the way through. Then, read the options all the way through. Then, eliminate any decoys by making a complete statement from the stem and each of the options in turn. An option that results in a false statement should be eliminated. One that results in a true statement is likely the correct answer. Watch out for negatives and extreme words. Whenever you find negative words, such as not or except, in the stem or in the options, circle them so they will stand out. Foolish options are usually incorrect. Sometimes profs will dash off foolish statements as options. You should almost always view such statements as decoys that should be crossed out immediately. Check for lookalike answers. Profs sometimes include, in one question, two options that are alike except for one word. Such a pair should indicate where the prof's interest was found, so it is logical to assume that one of the pair is the correct answer. Check for longer or more inclusive options. In multiple choice questions, the correct answer is often longer and more inclusive of qualities or ideas. Hopefully these tips have demonstrated that if you can't identify the right answer right away, there are ways to narrow down your options to find the correct answer. Here's an example of a multiple choice question from a psychology exam. Do you notice anything about this question? Hopefully you notice that it says which of the following is not. Use the previous strategy to eliminate answers you know are common elements that are in multiple personality disorder case histories. Try guessing the correct answer. In case you're curious, the correct answer is the last one. Schizophrenia is a different diagnosis than multiple personality disorder. If you are not writing a multiple choice exam, you could be writing an essay exam. These types of exams are commonly in social science and humanities. There are also strategies associated with writing essay exams that you can use to help you answer effectively. Here are some strategies to try out. Read the question carefully and look for instructions as to whether or not there is choice on the exam. Circle any keywords and questions to ensure you write the essay in the format that the proper TA will be grading you on, in addition to the content of the essay. For example, words such as discuss, compare and contrast, analyze, or evaluate. Also, main evidence for or provide two examples. As mentioned before, the proper TA will also be looking at the content of your essay, so there are some things you will want to include in your answer. Here are some examples. Include general statements supported by specific details and examples. Remember, you are using the exam to showcase your knowledge. Using examples and adding details is a great way to do this. You can also discuss relationships between facts and concepts, rather than just listing facts. When a proper TA reads the connections you are making to the material that was taught in class, it is a great way to show the proper TA that you comprehend the material and have been working to earn a good mark in the course. You should also try and ensure that you include one type of information, whether a concept, a detail, or an example, for every mark the essay is worth. When you are studying, try and write out more than just one example or detail for course concepts. The more variety, the better. And finally, limit personal feelings, anecdotes, and speculation, unless the question specifically asks for these. Treat the essay on the exam like a final essay that requires an academic tone and appropriate language. Now that you have some general guidelines of what you should include or exclude in your essay, actually writing the essay effectively comes next. Here are the 5 steps you should use to ensure you write a comprehensive essay exam while using your time and knowledge effectively. You want to plan the essay first. Make an outline of what main points you want to use in the essay and when you want to use them. Do this by quickly jotting down your ideas in the main points on the back or a page in your exam booklet. Once you have the outline, use it to help yourself keep on track and write quickly using clear, concise sentences. Then, maintain a clear essay structure. This means that your essay should have 3 sections. The first section is a 1 to 2 sentence introduction, including a clear thesis statement and a preview of the points. Include key words from the question in your thesis statement. The second section is the body of the essay. It is made up of paragraphs each containing one main idea, with the topic sentence linking back to the thesis statement, as well as transition words, such as although or however. The third and final section should be a short summary as a conclusion that highlights your main points or arguments. And once you've written your essay, you should focus on checking your spelling, grammar, mechanics, and wording. As you write, be sure to leave spaces for corrections or additional points by double spacing so that you can make these as needed. Lastly, review the essay to make sure its content matches your thesis statement. In this case, if you see discrepancies between the essay and the thesis statement, try to see where you can make small adjustments within the essay in order to make it coherent, and do not try and change the entire essay. Try adjusting your thesis statement instead. In order to get an idea of what you can face in an essay exam, here is an example of an essay question on a history exam. You will notice that the question says, choose one, and then asks to either discuss or explain. If you choose the discuss question, your best strategy is to present multiple points of view, again, with examples supporting these points. If you choose the explain question, your best strategy in this case would be to choose key points in the war's timeline and explain. When you are offered choice in an essay exam, always choose the question that you know the most about. When you read the question and jot down the points you want to discuss or explain, pick the one you have the most information for, and use these points to create your outline. Next, we'll move on to quantitative exams, which are usually in math, science, and some social science courses. For these types of exams, it may seem obvious that being a good problem solver in both math and science will be the key to earning a good grade. However, even if you don't think that you're naturally skilled at math, there is a specific step-by-step approach that you can use even if problem solving is not your strong suit. There are 7 steps for problem solving quantitative exams, and they are: to read the problem. Then, read the problem again to see what you were asked to find. Then, read the problem again to see what information you are given. You could jot this down somewhere in point form so you see exactly what you need to answer. Then, you want to analyze the problem and relate it to the information given in what you were asked to find. Then, translate the problem into mathematical terms. You'll then need to perform the necessary computations. And finally, examine your answer carefully and label what the problem asks for. Double-check your computations and go through the solution step by step to make sure you haven't missed any important number or calculation. So while you're carrying out the 7 steps, here are some additional tips you can use. The first is to show all your calculations. This means showing every step or calculation that you use to get your answer. Remember, partial marks are good too. The second is to be explicit and precise. Do not omit mathematical signs and define your answer. The third is to make your answer obvious. You can circle it, underline it, and set it apart from the rest of your calculations in some way. The fourth and final tip is to write clearly. Erase or cross out what you don't want marked. Also, review everything in your answer to avoid careless errors that could lose you marks, like basic addition or subtraction calculations. Here are examples from an algebra exam. You can see here that you may be asked to use these formulas in their original form, or use them by plugging in the given information into the formula yourself. Short answer exams are similar to essay exams, but there are some extra tips to consider. At the beginning of the exam, divide the time you have by the number of marks on the test to figure out how much time you should spend for each mark and each question, being sure to leave time for review at the end. If you can choose which questions to answer, choose quickly and don't change your mind. Be sure to start by answering the easiest questions, and then finish with the most difficult ones. Unless specified, try to write in sentences and paragraphs as much as possible. Then, if you are running out of time, you can use point form. Again, here are some examples of short answer questions. The key in responding to these questions is identifying and understanding what exactly you are being asked. For question 1, you should define both terms, explain the difference, and then give an example of each. For question 2, you should list and explain each principle. And for question 3, you should identify the genre, explain your opinion, and make reference to the specific films that you prefer. Just to review, the 4 common kinds of exams that have been discussed are multiple choice, essay, quantitative, and short answer. Take a minute and think about which kind of exams are most commonly used in your courses. Hopefully you've got some new tips to try. We all know that exam periods can be a stressful time for all students, which is why there are several services on campus available to help you with the challenges you may face in preparing for and writing exams. The services most frequently accessed by students during exams will be covered in the next few slides, so be sure to write down contact information just in case you need it. Health and Counseling Services is located in room 2600 of the Carleton Technology and Training Center, CTTC, and can be contacted using this email, health@carleton.ca. This service is available for medical certificates if you are unable to write an exam due to a medical issue. It is also available for counseling if you are experiencing anxiety and/or stress during exams, which is inhibiting your study and preparation time. Next, we have the Paul Menton Center for Students with Disabilities, which is located in room 500 of the University Center. Their website is carleton.ca/pmc. This is a service which is available for students who need to request accommodations for additional time and/or alternate writing locations for exams. We also have the Student Academic Success Center, located in 302 Torrey Building. This service provides students with academic advising about how final grades impact academic standing or progress, and also provides information about repeating a course. Also, there is the Learning Support Services, which is located on the 4th floor of the library. They help students by providing exam preparation workshops, allowing students to book study group rooms, and also give referrals for tutors. Most of their services are available through the My Success link on Carleton Central. And if you are working on final essays or projects, the Writing Tutorial Services, which is also on the 4th floor of the library, can help you with reviewing final written work. This is a very helpful service for improving your skills. Please note that the Writing Tutorial Service does not help students write or review take-home exams without written permission from their professor. Another great support is the peer-assisted study sessions, which provide mock exams as well as review sessions for selected courses. This is an excellent way to prepare for exams and gain a better understanding of what to expect when going in to write your exams. It is also an excellent way to practice writing the different types of exams, which we just covered in this workshop. And finally, there's the University Registrar's Office, which is located at 300 Torrey Building, and their website has tons of information. It is found at carleton.ca/registrar. This service is where students need to go to submit deferrals for exams or petitions and appeals. So, I hope that after reviewing these services, you can see just how many offices and staff are available on campus to help you successfully prepare and write your exams. I hope that at least a few of these services will support you through your time here at Carleton. So now that you know where to go for help and strategies that can help you write your exams to the best that you can, it is very important that you know when and where your exams are. All of this information is available through Carleton Central. You just need to click on the link called Student Records and Registration. Here you'll find how many exams you have to write, as well as when and where they are to take place. This part of the exam experience can stress students out when they see the number of exams they have to write in a short period of time. In this case, you should be aware that you can have exams changed if and only if you have a conflict or overload. The definition of a conflict is 2 exams scheduled at the same time, whereas an overload is defined as 3 or more exams in 3 consecutive periods, or 4 or more exams in 5 consecutive periods, or 5 or more exams in 7 consecutive periods. And what I mean by periods is the examination time slots, which are morning, starting at 9 a.m., afternoon, starting at 2 p.m., or evening, starting at 7 p.m. Consecutive periods can take place on one day, or over 2 or more consecutive days. If you check Carleton Central and see an overload or conflict, there is no need to panic. Just contact Examination Services at examinations@carleton.ca. So that concludes the most important information that you should know when it comes to writing exams. And just to summarize, we've covered understanding exams, specifically that they are an opportunity for you to showcase your knowledge, and that they are just used by profs to assess your comprehension and knowledge, not to trip you up. We also talked about general exam tips, we reviewed the different kinds of exams, and finally, we went over a list of services and resources that are available to help you during exams, and to ensure you do not feel overwhelmed or underprepared when exam time rolls around. Now that we've covered the material from the workshop, take a couple minutes to review what you put down on your Start, Stop, Continue page. What are the things you need to stop doing? What are the things you need to continue doing? These should be things that you are doing well and enable you to achieve your potential. And lastly, what are the things you need to start doing? These should be new skills or strategies that you can implement. For these items, I would ask that you take a minute and write down when you are actually going to start doing them. Today? Tomorrow? Remember, the sooner you implement these new strategies and skills, the better. I would also encourage you to come into LSS to attend one of our other workshops in person. We offer a wide variety of topics to meet any student's need. Workshops are available at varying times throughout the week, including evenings. To see the full schedule, please use the My Success link on Carleton Central and select LSS Workshops. Please note that while you are encouraged to register in advance, it is not required. As an added incentive, if you attend 5 or more in-person study skills workshops, you will earn your Skills for Academic Success certificate, which can then be recorded on your co-curricular record. And if you're looking for more personalized support to develop your study skills, I would like to offer you the opportunity to sign up for a one-on-one study skills appointment. Appointments are 45 minutes long, and you can talk with a study skills specialist about one of the following topics: time management, procrastination, academic reading and note-taking, exam preparation, memory and concentration, listening and note-taking, or learning styles. To schedule an appointment with a study skills specialist, you need to go to the LSS Help Desk on the 4th floor of the McCodrum Library. Finally, if you would like to receive the slides for this workshop, please send an email from your Connect email account to learningsupport@carleton.ca requesting them. Thanks, and I wish you all the best on your upcoming exams.